in the league. He's clearly a solid backup. Could be better than that, but on balance, you win with the guy. He doesn't make mistakes.
My whole contention is that he's a backup quarterback. The fact that he's 3-0 as a starter speaks well for the coaching staff.
It was an opportunity for two firsts, a winning season and a playoff berth. It didn't happen.
6 seconds remain. This is it. The snap is high. The snap, the kick is up. It's long. It is good.
The Saints had absorbed their cruelest blow in a sorry franchise's history.
It was the single most difficult play I've ever announced. Kenny, I wanted that to happen. I wanted it to be a winning season. I wanted to be a part of history. It didn't happen that way.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, again, but that was a game that we should have won. Physically, we were a better ball club. We dominated them, as far as I remember, offensively.
Despite dominating up front and statistically, the Saints were betrayed by 2 interception returns and a punt return for touchdowns. Leading 24-23 near the 2-minute warning, Bum Phillips passed on a Morton Anderson 49-yard field goal attempt in lieu of a Guido Merkins punt. The rest, well, you know the rest of the story.
You'd like to get out there and get opportunities. That's always the case, but in that particular instance, you know, they felt it was better to punt and keep them in the hole, let the defense win the game, but we all know what happened.
Kenny, my goal in life has always been to play to win instead of to play to keep from getting beat. There's a big difference. I'll take going down in flames any day, fighting to win. But as far as playing to keep from getting beat, sticks in my craw.
Playing not to lose, that's the old line, and it was true. It's unfortunate because you really have to play to win.
Having already hit 5 game-winning field goals that season, most all observers felt Anderson should have had an opportunity to add to the lead.
I wholeheartedly agree with him.
And we did everything in the world except beat them on the scoreboard. And it was so frustrating because we had a better team than they had.
Even though he hung around for part of 2 more seasons, the football days of Bum Phillips effectively ended on Black Sunday.
I think that was a straw that broke the camel's back in a lot of ways. Perhaps he started thinking more about retirement after that point. Perhaps the game had moved beyond him to some extent.
The same could be said for a disillusioned John Meekum, who would sell within 2 years.
It may very well have been the end of John Meekum and this club as well.
He wanted to see a winner as much as anybody else did, and he lost a lot. Like you say, it was like losing a friend that day, and I think he lost the friend, and that friend was the elusive victory.
11 years have come and gone, but the memory still lingers.
The bitterest taste I've ever had on the football field.
11 years later, and the memories are still fresh in the minds of players and in the mind of this reporter. Who knows, the history of the Saints would have changed forever that day. Had the Saints won, maybe there would be no Tom Benson, maybe no Jim Moore for you to kick around, buddy. And perish the thought, maybe John Meekum would still be around. For Hey Buddy D, I'm Ken.Trahan.
I confess, I think I'd rather the situation right now than the situation with John Meekum as the owner.
This is Pert Counter Pert, a one-on-one exchange of opinions with Buddy D and Ken.Trahan.
7 games into the season, buddy. It's almost mid-season, and time for a report card. First of all, who's the best player in the NFL in 1994?
I think it's Troy Aikman of the Cowboys. I know they got a lot of help around him, Emmett and Michael Irvin and those people, but he's the straw that stirs the drink.
He's a very good quarterback, buddy, but he's not the best player in the league. Jay Novacek as well, a great offensive line. The best player in the NFL is Barry Sanders. He doesn't have the supporting cast. He has a mediocre offensive line. He's one of the top 5 backs in the history of the National Football League.
I agree with that, but 7 games into the season, I think it's Troy Aikman this year. Barry Sanders has got Scott Mitchell, the most overpaid player in 1994.
I can't believe it. I agree with you. Scott Mitchell. Everyone wanted the Saints to get him. Thank goodness they didn't. He is not worth it, not by a long shot. Now, as far as the Saints are concerned, buddy, who's the most overpaid player on the Saints?
That's a no-brainer. In 1994, hands down, Ronaldo Turnbull.
This is really getting strange. I agree with you again. How about the most underpaid player on the Saints, buddy? I think it's Darian Connor.
I agree with you. You see, 7 weeks into the season, he's starting to absorb something. He's even talking like he knows what he's talking about.
Folks, I got to tell you, this is dangerous.
The Philips CDI, which is the
Correct.
compact disc interactive machine. For software, we carry over 80 games for the PC, home computer.
So this is a different way to play a sport now, that you can actually pick up one of these and plug it in, and there you are. And you could be a champion boxer or a scratch golfer or whatever.
Right. You don't sweat, but it's a lot of fun.
A disc like this, how much would that cost?
They range from $34.95 to $54.95, but the bulk I'm selling for $49.95.
And then, of course, you got to buy the equipment to go along with it.
Yes, this particular piece right here is $3.99 retail, which comes with the player itself and the remote control. And
you brought a wizard along with you, Brad. Welcome.
Yeah.
You've been playing computer games for how many years?
Since I was about 6.
And how did you get started?
Well, I bought my Nintendo with my own money, you know.
Yeah.
I was saving up.
This was something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And did you pick it up right away, or was it difficult?
Well, it took me a little while to figure it out, and then it just went uphill from there.
Now, when you bought the game, do they actually give you instruction as to how you're supposed to do it, or do you ask your friends? Or?
Yeah, but then there's other things that you learn while you're playing it.
You brought a game here called
Caesar's Boxing.
Caesar's Boxing. Is that one of your more popular games?
It is a very popular game. It's action, a lot of action. And
is it easy to learn, or?
Yes, this one's pretty easy. You can pick your own trainer. The gentleman that you are, you can name him.
This kind of looks like me.
Yeah, we gave him a Martin Anderson haircut.
So
there.
I'm boxing against Frank Pinero?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's your opponent.
That's my opponent. And Brad and I are going to play against each other, or?
Well, actually, Brad's going to play the game.
I want to see all the news. Brad, keep going. You're right there. Thanks for coming. We'll be right back after these words. Boom, boom. Uppercut, uppercut. Give him an uppercut, uppercut.